I almost wish my boy Mike Yurcich would have left this one in the bag, because this could definitely be used coming up against Ohio State. This joint right here was hard. First of all, formation into the boundary. You're working out of 12 personnel, so it ends up being a tendency breaker in my opinion right there, of course. But you get this bluff screen here to Cephas, then you have 2 9s, right, after a couple of bluff blocks, right, bluff and release there. And man, when I saw this joint, I was like, oh, they got him. You can tell him, look at it, I got him, coach. I got him, coach. And it's like, I don't have him, coach. Come on, nothing but airspace and opportunity, and my man Tyler Warren does not get up for the downstroke. Normally has some of the most solid hands you'll see there. Oh, he had to be kicking himself right there. If we can see here, right, you get that too tight set. Andrew Rappelier here, who's going to be a damn good player in his own right in the future there, but the current star here, Tyler Warren, they really slow play that bluff on the block right there, and then you get kind of a 2-level release. Because of how they were staggered there. I'm not sure why they were running this. I guess you would have to have 2 options on this one, right? But I wonder if maybe Rappelier should be shooting it to the post. But it looks like 2 streaks damn near. And look, put it right on him right there. Maybe you could say he aired it. He could have just actually put it on the numbers there, because he did have to kind of jump up for it. But it's Tyler Warren. You wouldn't in 100 years suspect that he would miss something like that. But that joint was hard. Come on, Andrew Rappelier, Tyler Warren, Cephas, Mike Yurcich in his bag. Yo, Jersey Murph back up in the building, partnering up with the great folks over at DraftKings. New customers placing a $5 bet will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. I'm not talking now, I'm talking about right now. A $5 bet will get you $200 in bonus bets instantly, and all you have to do is head on over to your Google Play or Apple Store, download that DraftKings Sportsbook, and get to winning. Come on, man. It's been so much fun this season. I can't help but get everybody else in on all the fun. I've been working with those same game parlays. That's when you combine multiple bets within the same game for even bigger payouts. And if you don't have online wagering in your state, it doesn't matter, because DraftKings has you covered like makeup. DraftKings Daily Fantasy is where it's at. You can get in on that and get in on all the fun. Remember, promo code TOPBILLIN at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Let's go!
More can I say?
Top Billin. We are 6-0. All right, y'all. It's been a couple of weeks since you seen your boy Jersey Murph here. I apologize for that. Well, not really, right? Before we get into the particulars, right? Make sure you're sharing the content. If you're not doing so, you're doing yourself a disservice, because one, sharing is caring. Also, man, make sure you're tipping your waiter, because you know I be serving that hibachi. Tell everyone that this is where you can get the best Penn State coverage, period, point blank, all right? So, with that being said, man, I normally don't do previews of games, right? I'm the review guy, but I missed a couple of weeks where I wasn't able to get some of my preliminary thoughts out, and I kind of want to just talk to the people, right? I know when I come, I have to bring the film studies and all that, right? I'm not really trying to do a film study on a UMass game. I don't like squash matches at all, so I don't learn anything from them per se. But there is always something you can glean from anything. So I saw them trying to push the ball down the field, making a concerted effort to go vert with pretty poor results. This is something that I think that has reared itself pretty much the entire season, right? Lack of explosive plays, whether it be on the ground, where you think we should have the best, period, point blank, 1-2 punch at running back, with the offensive line having some really talented players there. No explosive plays on the ground. It depends on what you want to call explosive. 20 yards or more, I'm not sure we have that at all. Maybe something like 17, 18 yards or something like that, right? Katron Allen in my opinion, definitely should be the hammer starting out every game, with Nick Singleton being the nail. I think that's the best combination there to get explosive plays. Kaytron Allen running extremely hard. Nick Singleton runs hard as well, too, so don't get me wrong there. But I think that if you're really trying to soften up a defense, Kaytron Allen's going to make somebody pay. He's going to soften your stool. You're going to have a great night on the toilet trying to tackle that man because he does not play. So then you come behind that, right? He can get you the explosive plays as well, but you come behind that with a Nick Singleton, it'd be all to the good. However, it starts up front, and I'm not so sure in the 6 games I've seen what it takes to have explosive plays from the offensive line. I'm just being real here about that. Not to say that it's a bad offensive line. It's just at this particular point in time, it needs to step it up there. Too much sanitation being had in the backfield, right, before Kaytron or Nick Singleton or even Potts can get going, right? Too many of those type of plays. Not enough climbing up to the second level to me and being able to wedge an angle off there. You got to have that in vogue, especially against an Ohio State team, right? Ohio State team that I know very well. A lot of people should know. If you don't know, you know what I'm saying, my relationship with one Steele Chambers, my boy from back in the day who I helped with his recruiting process. Not gonna lie, I wanted him to go to Penn State. I helped him get a Penn State offer, and but he wanted to play running back, and I wanted him to play running back because that's what he wanted to do, and Penn State definitely wanted him as a linebacker. Ohio State let him play linebacker, right? He actually, they let him play running back for a little bit, and then he was switched to linebacker when they needed that help there. He's an NFL player, and I hope he's a Philadelphia Eagle in the future. But I know his skill set, Tommy Eichenberg and these guys' skill set. If Penn State is able to climb to the second level, get up on those linebackers right there, both of those guys have trouble, in my opinion, getting off of blocks. Kind of an embarrassing moment, but the act itself, right? This joint right here, getting explosive runs from your guy who's known as the jukebox guy originally, right? You see on this inside zone play right here, look at him navigate the blocking. Look at that. Stick that foot in the ground, and no matter what, the first defender he encounters not going to tackle him. Better off getting tackled by the turf monster right there, right? Check it out, man. Kenny McIntosh, one of these guys, I'm telling you right now, you don't have to reach for a running back in the first round or anything like that. If this guy's available in the 3rd, 4th round or something like that, you have yourself a hidden gem right here. Look at him navigate this blocking scheme right here. You got Van Pran right here and Devin Willock doing work off the inside hip of both, being able to get them sealed off right there, and he's good. That can be where your explosive runs come from. Ohio State known to give up those explosive runs over the past couple of years there, and I don't see no reason why that should change right there. I think Ohio State's defense is a little bit better than it was previously, but I still think it can be had by the right group of people. And I think Penn State is the right group of people. We're talking about explosive plays on the ground there. Over the top, not sold on Ohio State's defensive backfield, but they do have a couple of talented players there, no doubt about that. But not the tried and true guys who you saw was like, oh, man, that's a top 5. Denzel Ward, yeah, that's a top 5 pick. Conversely, not sold on our wide receivers, right? To me, it's the worst set of wide receivers that we've had. However, the quarterback throwing them the ball is the most talented guy that I've seen there, so maybe that could even itself out. Not to say that Trey Wallace, Lambert Smith, Cephas, and these guys aren't the deal. It's just something seems to be missing there, right? Either way it goes, however you try to slice it, something seems to be missing there, and I want to see that come to fruition. Sometimes all it takes is some really good competition to really hone for you to dial in, and that can be on both sides of the ball. Both sides of the coin there. Listen, if somebody tells you or gives you some type of definitive analysis either way of how this game is going to go, they're a homer. Right? I'm neutral in my analysis, right? I'm not a homer. I know Penn State can beat Ohio State. I feel like Penn State has the better team. I feel like Penn State has the more talented defense. I feel like overall Penn State is the more talented team. But ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. Ohio State very talented in his own right. And even with me saying that, I think it's marginal at best. Ohio State extremely talented. has some superstar players on both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? One Marvin Harrison could sway this entire joint. If he would have went to Penn State like he should have, Penn State winning this game outright. Him at Ohio State makes it a little bit more difficult, but guess what? That Penn State defense, I think, is just on another level, but it has to prove it against a team like Ohio State, although I don't believe Ohio State to have that dope of an offense, right? I think the offense has some talented players like a Travion Henderson if he plays, and, of course, Marvin Harrison. Kyle McCord at quarterback I think is pretty good, but he's nothing like they've had in the past as well. So and if you look at what I'm saying right there, these boys are ripe for the picking, straight up. But they can also beat Penn State. If you're telling yourself they can't, you're lying to yourself, straight up. So I won't let you lie to yourself there. But to me, an approach, right, a tight end-centric approach, as we see it with the UMass game right there, being able to work off a play action or just having Drew Aller chain through his progressions. Remember, the more progressions you go through, the better chance you have. On this one right here, not necessarily a progression-type read, but you can see my man looking off and holding the safety. You get Theo Johnson right here, right? Talented player in his own right. Kind of working the post right there off of an inside approach. My man doing the damn thing. And look at Aller right here with the kiss. Jakob. My man right there understands how to feather the clutch. He understands how to dial the RPMs up and dial them back. That's what makes him a special player in the future and what makes him a really good player right now, right? He'll be able to hone in on that. He just needs more and more experience there. And they need to be able to take advantage of the tight ends on the inside because Eichenberg, Steele Chambers, and these guys, in my opinion, not good coverage linebackers as well. If Yurcich can do his thing matching up on the inside, I think we could be able to dominate that game on the inside and really force those linebackers to either have to get off the field and they counter with more defensive backs, or we force them to look pretty bad, right, in coverage trying to go against a Tyler Warren or Theo Johnson, right? And you can really force that because Mike Yurcich is dictating to the defense. He's going to come in this 13 personnel right there. He's going to force you to be in base personnel, and your base personnel is probably not going to be good enough to stop a tight end-centric Penn State attack, and then they can take those vertical shots on those cornerbacks that I think are just kind of above average at best. One of the things that I want Ohio State to have to account for is my man Drew Aller's ability to have an exit plan, right? Nobody open in the quick game. The man is too good of an athlete. I said it before. He reminds me of Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, and these type cats who can absolutely scoop that people don't give credit for his athleticism. Him being able to move the chains when necessary. That was on a 4th down, I believe. Right, and he takes it into his own hands. It was like a 4th and 2 or something like that. And he takes matters into his own hand. If Ohio State has to account for that in addition to his ability to push the ball horizontally, of course, we're going to be working them edges and the ability to go vert as well. Like, come on, it's going to be crazy tough to deal with and for anyone else in the future with the type of athletes and personnel and the type of scheme that Mike Yurcich runs. All right, that pass rush was heating UMass up like an ironing board, right? Like my man Meek Mill said back in the day. The best edge player this year thus far has been Adisa Isaac. Is Brooklyn in the house? Without a doubt. Listen, that man right there is something special. No doubt about that. He stepped it up this year, done leveled it up at the perfect time for him. But we got to talk about Chop Robbie. Your man Chop Robinson has all the talent in the world to be a top 10 pick in the draft. And he's starting to heat up as well. Look at this arm under move. Look at him run the loop. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Jesus. Bang. Fertilized the quarterback running that loop with an arm under. Wish I had a better angle of this, a better replay angle from start to finish there. But you can see him change elevations. He starts out low, right? Changing that elevation. Starts out high, He starts out high, changes the elevation, going low on that loop right there. Look at the dexterity, the flexibility right there. Now look at that, the ability to widen it out on these crossover stuffs right there. The bendability, man, I'm telling you right now, Chop Robinson start heating up very much like the Eagles with like Hassan Reddick heating up, right? Him and Adisa Isaac damn near like Josh Sweat in Hassan Reddick for the Penn State Nittany Lions right there, man. And I want to see more of Durant. I don't think I've seen a defensive tackle that looks like a damn outside linebacker, right? This guy has a special body type. If he does weigh what they say that he weighs there, I think that kid can do some real serious business as well. All right, last couple right here. Listen, if you got a post safety and he's shaded on the other side of the field, you got someone soloed off front side here, you got to go to it. You got to hit these right here because at the very least, you get something like this, front facing play action fake. You get Drew holding a safety, right? Making sure he's looking over there and then firing out right here and not Jakob. But guess what? You get a defensive holding call, a pass interference, or whatever that was called right there, and it's still a positive play. Not hit many of these, if any at all, but I can definitely see it being eventually hit because Lambert Smith too talented. Of course, Trey Wallace too talented, and some of the other guys there, right? Man, I wish we had Jahan Dotson on this team. That alone right there could have been probably worth a national championship, right? Not even just a playoff berth, a national championship. Got to have one of these guys step up. All right, back at it. Had to leave with my boy right here, Adisa Isaac. Look at this right here. It's complete, just speed. He can beat you with speed and power. Bang. Another fertilization of the UMass quarterback, right? And he went ahead and gave it up missionary style. He wouldn't even try to get his legs up out of the air. To this day, his legs are still in the air, missionary style right there. I'm not sure what the tackle was looking at on this one, but you can see coming out of a motorcycle stance, the Brooklyn native right here. Oh, it looks like the tackle takes a slight step to the inside. Obviously, he's not getting up in his kick step phase because he's not retreating. And all that took was that little bit of a false step right there. And my man to give him half a man, dip it under, runs a tight loop, right? Not much you can do as a quarterback if somebody runs a loop that tight. Where you going to flush out at? He didn't even have time to see it coming. And then bang, missionary style right there. But listen, not going to hold you any longer there. It should be a hard-fought game. It should be a great game nonetheless. I cannot absolutely wait for this game. I don't normally do predictions and stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be jinxing my own squad and shit like that, man. We're going to have to go for it. And I told you that I'm not a homer anyway, so I'm just going to have to give it to you guys real for what I think is going to happen in this game, all right? So I'm going to go something like 24-17 Ohio State. To lose to those Penn State Nittany Lions, baby, we are. I think it's time. I think the guys go ahead and get that done. Going to be a hard-fought game. It's going to be, I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like out there, man, but it's probably going to be some good football weather. And whoever's defense shows up the best, man, I think can really take this right here because both offenses, in my opinion, aren't exactly where they need to be. And I think Penn State's defense is probably a little further along than Ohio State. So we shall see. But fire up the band. Put my man LeVar Arrington on the screen with that dope-ass Penn State hat that they showed him on that PSU drawing. I need to get it, right? Jersey, as always, stand up, baby. We in the building. Shout-outs to New York. Shout-outs to the entire PA as well. And as always, man, if you're from Jersey, make sure you shout out Jersey. Say our name, all right? Your boy Jersey Murphy in the building. Make sure you sending in that quality support. You know your boy be serving that hibachi. All right? Big salute to everybody out there, baby. Let's go.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.